News at 6.
Good evening. We begin tonight with continuing coverage of the significant reversal in the legal fight between the governor and the Arkansas Board of Corrections. A new board majority appointed by the governor voted to settle 2 lawsuits the board had already won.
Now, the lawyer who represented the board before it was taken over by the governor's appointees is speaking out. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley joins us live here in the studio tonight with the fallout that has followed the board's decision. Andrew?
The first of those 2 lawsuits was filed by the Board of Corrections to challenge new state laws that transferred the authority given them by Amendment 33 of the Arkansas Constitution to the governor. The second was a lawsuit filed against the board by the Attorney General, alleging Freedom of Information violations. The Board of Corrections won both those lawsuits at the circuit court level, and the Arkansas Supreme Court affirmed the lower court's ruling in the Amendment 33 case. But after the governor appointed a majority of 4 members to the 7-member board, it suddenly reversed course and agreed to settlements proposed by the Attorney General, which would have both parties jointly ask the Supreme Court to vacate lower court rulings that were in favor of the board and permanently blocked the laws, taking away its power.
What they're trying to get the Supreme Court to do is to ignore what the law says and to ignore the Constitution and to instead effectively allow the Attorney General and the governor to exercise the judicial authority of Arkansas. So there's a real separation of powers problem here.
In its settlements, the Board of Corrections agreed to say that hiring Metazadigan was unlawful and refused to pay him or his law firm the over $300,000 they are owed for the last 2 years. The board had hired Metazadigan to represent it in its lawsuits with the governor and AG. But the new Sanders-appointed majority on the board in its first act fired him.
They certainly have the right to do that. They certainly do not have the right to breach our contract where they're not going to pay us.
Amendment 33 was created specifically to protect state agencies and boards from having their power taken away or interfered with by a governor. Metazadigan says what the state's executive branch is doing now should concern all Arkansans.
We are entitled as Arkansans to have independent bodies that regulate these important areas and institutions like corrections. These boards are under attack. And so if they can't hire independent counsel to vindicate their rights under Amendment 33, then Amendment 33 is dead letter law. Our constitutional rights are under attack by this administration. I think this is a deep state effort to not only take power from the Board of Corrections, but also to take power from the Supreme Court and to tell the Supreme Court by the governor and the Attorney General what the law should be. These arguments in the settlement agreement belong more in Russia than they do in a court of law in the United States.
On Friday, Metazadigan and his firm filed a motion to intervene and an objection to the Arkansas Supreme Court, asking the court to reject the Board of Corrections settlements. On your side, I'm Andrew Mobley.
Okay, Andrew, thanks very much. The Supreme Court has denied a request from the Attorney General to expedite the settlement agreements, so it could be a while before all this is decided. Meantime, in a statement to Channel 7 News, a spokesman for the Attorney General's office said, quote, "Our position on the illegality of the board's actions in retaining outside counsel is well documented in previous filings. Mr. Metazadigan's retention from the start was illegal, and nothing has changed."